everybody. It's your girl, LaCie Knight, and welcome back to another episode of Urban Whispers, the LaCie Knight Chronicles. I'm so excited to have our very busy Morris Days book back with us today. At some point, Sloan will arrive, but also we have an honorable guest with us today. Her name is Tiffany Alston, aka the Chief Librarian, and this is really a great interview for us to have with her because there's not a few places that keep stories alive and things that we want to honor other than the library. It's just a great place, and we always prompt everyone to keep the library, use your local library, and just you can do a myriad of things in the library. And she's a testament of that. She started out as a page back in 1995, which is someone that's just shelving the books that most of us we really don't think about, because all we want to do is talk to the person at the front desk. And I'm old and I want to go to the card catalog and look through the Dewey Decimal System to find what I'm looking for, not realizing that there's this person there that could really help you navigate that. And then she has just really spent her entire career climbing through every role the library has and just offering herself in the way of public service. So today we're going to get into her journey. She's a Black woman that's standing in a space that we don't often see Black women standing in. Definitely want to know, because this is a reading podcast, what you're reading, the fight over what people are allowed to read, and what she wishes that we take away about what the library really is. So I can't be more excited about this. I've been dropping noodles that this was coming for months at this point. So please help me welcome the Madam Tiffany Alston, aka the Chief Librarian. Yay! Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you ladies. Just speaking about my experience and libraries as a Black woman, as a young Black woman who started and didn't imagine myself staying in libraries, but being an attorney, I am honored to still be in this space. So thank you for, reaching out and asking me to be on. This is wonderful. I'm excited.
All right. And Morg, sorry, I didn't ask because I was just too excited to see Tiffany. How you doing, girl? Welcome back.
Thanks. I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed and I'm still here. So all is well.
And what's on your mind today for Tiffany? I'm going to let you kick it off because last time I felt like I monopolized our. When I get excited, I just be talking and talking and talking.
In the intro, actually, and it feeds into some of the questions that we had, can you just give us your full start into your career as a librarian and what that has done for you, both as a career and in your personal life?
Yeah, so 31 years in librarianship at this point. So I started in May of 1995, and how I started was going into libraries. It was my neighborhood library. So I'm a New Yorker. I was born in the Bronx. I grew up in Harlem, and I lived across the street from the Schomburg Library, which is the Black research library in New York City, right? But connected to that is a neighborhood library, which was called the County Cullen Library. And that's where I started my career. I went in there and I just inquired one summer day about volunteering. And once I started, they were like, well, we have summer jobs. And I said, well, I can use money. I'm one of four children. This would be nice. I have my own little coin in my pocket. And so I applied, and it wasn't just a summer job. It was the beginning of this career path. And I didn't imagine that at that time. It was interesting being a shelver. You are in the aisles, you're organizing the material, you're not the first person that people see, but you're probably the second point. Okay. And I was often getting in trouble. So y'all may be surprised to hear this, but I was often getting in trouble for helping people in the aisles because I wasn't a librarian. I was just a bookshelver. So I shouldn't have been guiding people and helping people. That were the rules then. So you were here to shelve and organize. You're not here to service and help people find the material, although you know where the material is because you just shelved it. So that's how it started. And one fun fact about libraries, ladies, no matter what position you're always referred to as my librarian. So no matter what position, if you're the bookshelver, you're a computer page, you're a technician who helps to check the books in and out, or you are an administrator, the manager, everybody says, "Oh, that's my local librarian." And it
Yeah, I do.
always starts with mine.
Wow.
It's the ownership. So no,
Yeah.
you're in the supermarket and it's like, "Oh, mom, grandma, there's my librarian."
Yep, you right.
Doesn't matter the role. And it doesn't matter the city. You
Yeah.
are the ownership is there. So there's some special connection with library staff and ownership, like individual ownership. So again, how I started shelving the books, I used to get in trouble for helping people. I had to kind of sneak. I had to sneak and help people and point them to places because some of the librarians of back in the day wouldn't remove themselves from the desk. They would just point to the shelf or the area, the general area.
Well,
And so honestly, that's really how I got into moving up into the different roles. So I started as a book page. I became a computer page. I was helping people now maneuver the floppy disk that we used to
Yes.
use in
I
computers.
remember a floppy disk.
Playing-
Morgan might not, because she's a
I
baby.
remember floppy disk.
Okay, so we used to
You
use
remember your
floppy
mama telling you about a floppy disk?
In the computer. I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we used to have floppy disk and then the hard ones, the smaller. And we had Carmen San Diego games that
That was
people
my
wanted to play.
favorite.
Exactly. So I started there. And from there, I became a part-time clerk, which was the person checking in and out of the material. Right. And while I was there, talking to people, I was going to be an attorney. So that was my next path was to be an attorney. What brought me into librarianship was one day, children are cute and they're sweet and they do cartwheels and they roll around and they dance and they entertain. And then they become teenagers.
Mm.
You turn 12 and 13 and all of a sudden you're frustrating. All of a sudden you're annoying. All of a sudden, because your voice got deeper, you got taller, you start to curve in places, you're no longer cute. And I watched people say, "Oh, they're so frustrating." I said, "Well, these are the same kids that were doing cartwheels last week, and they were cute. But over the summer, they grew and they evolved, and now they're annoying. What's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, you can't talk. You be a librarian, and then you'll know." I said, "Challenge accepted." I'm gonna go to library school. Because these teenagers need an advocate. These teenagers need somebody who can stand up for them. Instead of looking at them as a problem, let's look at them as a part of the solution.
I love that.
And that's kind of like how I incrementally moved up in every role. As somebody was saying, "Oh, well, do this," I'm like, "Challenge accepted." Everything was like, "Oh yeah, you don't think I can do it? I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do it well. And I'm going to show you."
Is that something that you still carry even now? You've been a librarian for 3 decades. What is it that you are able to, even if you were to coach someone as like a mentee coming up, is there anything that you have learned just being as a Black woman in this space? We don't see a lot of us here, Black men or women. What would you give them?
So I think the most important thing that I tell people who I mentor and interact with is be yourself. Right? It's important that representation is present in every space.
Sure.
So if you're quirky, if you feel, people describe themselves, "Oh, I'm goofy," or "I'm quiet," or "I'm loud," those spaces, who you are is important in every space, because there's some child, some youth, some young person wanting to be who they are, but feeling like they have to suppress. So what I say is, you deserve to be seen, your work deserves to be seen, your ideas deserve to be seen and heard, and you don't have to earn permission to take up space.
Facts.
Okay, I remind them that excellence isn't about perfection, it is about consistency, integrity, curiosity, and the willingness to keep growing. I think the most important thing is that I don't want you to feel completely like, I don't want you to wait until you're completely ready to do something. Growth begins when confidence and confidence will catch up. And I think people often think you have to be confident and then. No, expand yourself and then confidence will catch up to you.
Sure. Wow.
I love that. That's powerful. I think, and I hearing you talk about how adults act with teenagers when they switch from the cutesy stage to the annoying stage. I have a 15-year-old. What are some of the things, because you work with them a lot, if they were listening, what type of advice do you think the young folks want us to think when what are we consistently getting wrong? Like, how does that maneuver?
I think what we're consistently getting wrong with our youth is not seeing them, not hearing them. We look through them, we look past them, we look over them, we look around them, but we don't see them. They are not only about technology, they're not only about entertainment. They're really pretty deep. And I've had the experience. So you have a 15-year-old, I have a 16-year-old, a girl one too. So I say a girl one because they are vocal, quite vocal. And honestly, I love it and I encourage it, right? Because she is growing into a beautiful young woman who will be the next Ketanji Brown Jackson. Period. You know what I mean? So I want her to find her voice at this age. Yeah. So I think what we don't do enough is listen to them. So I'm going to give you a funny story. Like, first of all, for wherever I go, I'm always messing with the teenagers. And I have to tell them, especially at work, I'm like, okay, I work here. Because I don't want you to think I'm some random weirdo adult who is just like engaging with a teenager, right? Right. So they're like, okay, cool. I'm asking, oh, do you like the teen center? Just enter what program do you like? But one day I'm leaving for work and we have a big lobby and the main library. And I had on this black and white dress and I'm leaving. I'm thinking, I'm cute. And then this teenager, I turn around and he's like, Miss, you look like Cruella DeVille. Oh. And so I turned around, I looked at him and I said, it's Beetlejuice. And when I tell you he busted out laughing, he said, he's not gonna lie. I thought you was gonna say something different. He's like, I love that. And we just had a nice little discussion because he said, I was not expecting that. He's like, man, you really got me. And to this day, now we chat. When I see him down there, how you doing, how school was going on, we have built a rapport, right? Simply because, and when I turned around, I had a serious face and I said, no, it's Beetlejuice. Well, it tickled him. He was like, oh my goodness. Like, you're an adult with a sense of humor. You took time to talk to me. Man, I love that. So they just want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be listened to. And so when I speak to him now, I just take the opportunity. Hey, what's going on? What's programming? What program do you think? And he's like, no, y'all do great. I love this. I would love to see y'all, do something with the podcast studio because, I said, oh yeah, because we want to do what did we used to call it back in the day? It's like ciphers. That's in New York.
Oh, yes, like having those spoken
right? But he's like, I don't even know what that is. I was like, okay, freestyles. I start to tell my age. Yeah, because I'm closer to 50 than anything. So he's like, you're lying. No, I'm 48. So
looking good. Okay. You 31 years, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's where the 31 years comes from. But often I have to remember, and I use the language that my teenager gives me to like engage with the youth. But they just want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to be acknowledged. I also had the opportunity of going to a conference last year with Gen Z youth, and they purposely pair Gen Z with Gen X and baby boomers so we can have a discussion. And when I tell you, I said, well, what is it that you like? What is it? And they said, we want to interact with our families and intergenerationally, but y'all don't want to interact with us. And I was just like, you want to interact with adults? And they said,
Yeah.
yeah, we yearn for that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
asking them a question and then listening to them
Yeah.
is what we can do. And that's in every area. That's not just libraries. The reason that libraries are so important for everyone is we're a convener space. We're a space
Yeah.
where people want to come. People choose to come to the library. There's
Right.
some people that have to, but generally that's a choice. And we're a convener space. We're open access. We are a space where we don't limit anybody's possibilities.
Hmm.
So libraries are an anchor. It's really we call it in our library world the third space. You have home, you have school or work, and then you have libraries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I think that everything you're saying, it hits home a lot for me just because I live in Ward 8 in Washington D.C. and I'm always surrounded by the youth because I live in the area where there's a bunch of schools nearby,
Okay.
and I feel like the city itself is under attack in a
Hmm.
myriad of ways, and one of the ways that they are attacking the city is by trying to label our Black youth as problematic. And I think that they don't listen. You see these kids, they're being rambunctious, and it's like because they don't have an outlet, or they're acting out this way because they want somebody to say what's going on with them and
Yeah.
what are you doing. And I think the city is making the city itself not, well, maybe not at the top, but there's pockets of the city that's recognizing this and creating spaces for the youth to come into because of everything that you're calling out. So I think that it's amazing, and reminding people that the library is a space that's open for free,
Yeah.
Yes.
and you can go in here and utilize us, and they're all over. You don't have to go to the big spaces. You can go to your neighborhood libraries and
That's
you
right.
know get information that way. That's lit. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I get the language from my child, and they I feel old every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't think I'm old till I talk to somebody young. And I'm like, oh,
Listen.
hold on.
And we use something like cool or dope, and they're like, what are you
Hmm.
referring to?
What are you
Right.
talking to? What does
What
that
is
even
that?
mean?
What does that mean?
Or as my daughter will say, no, no, mom, no,
Hmm.
just stop. I'm like, what?
At
No,
least your daughter
I'm
would tell you that. My daughter just be like
I'm like, oh, let's go do a tick. She's like, mom, just no.
6, 7.
Exactly.
Like, they're like,
Stop. Stop.
well, y'all don't
And
even let y'all trends linger long enough.
they do not. But let me tell you the other piece that now like we're speaking about our personal experiences. I also made my space, my home, the safe space for the teens. So I am the space that they come to, boys and girls. So my
Hmm.
daughter is fortunate enough to have wonderful young men who are her friends and wonderful young women. And I have created the space that they can come here before school, after school, on the weekends, hang out.
I love that.
And
I
they
love that.
ask me advice. Listen, that's what I said. When you engage with them, you open
Hmm.
up possibilities. So they're shy at first, and the thing is, you just have to be consistent. You
Hmm.
just have to be. I didn't say a lot. I would take them places, and we went and talked. They would key, and
Hmm.
because I have an 8-seater, and my child knows how to fill it. Okay, so. uh,
Everyone's coming. Yeah.
and listen, and I'm picking up on the way and on the way back, and it's all good, right? But I just listened at first,
Hmm.
just quiet, bye, hi, Miss T, hi, okay. And when I tell you last year, one of her good guy friends was like, no, Miss T, I need advice because my girlfriend, and I'm like,
Your
Oh.
girlfriend.
oh, but also like, you want really? Like, he's like, no, this is the situation. What should I do?
Hmm.
Okay.
So again, when you open up, and the reason I use that example is when you just create the space for them to feel safe,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they feel safe.
And they tell you too much.
At that part though, because I'm
I'm
like,
like clutching my pearls. I just took because I'm a Girl Scout troop leader, and when I tell you she just graduated high school and she's going to Morgan State, and she came up to me, she was like, "Can you take me to my orientation?" I was like, she's like, "My mom and dad have to work." I was like, "You know, I got a job too, right?"
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I got a job, but I was like, "All right, cool." I took off to take her to her orientation, and when I picked her up, I noticed. I didn't say anything about it. I saw a little hickey on her neck, and I was just like, ah. In my mind, I was so started driving, and she just downloading on me, and she was like, "So what do you think?" And I was like, "You really want to know what this 40-something-year-old lady got to say about what you got going on right
Mm-hmm.
now?" Like, all right. And I said, "No, when I tell you, let's go." But it was just like, and then I come home and my daughter's friends, they talk about a lot, and I'm just like, and then I'm thinking to myself, is this what I had going on when I was 50? Was I doing
Maybe
this?
No,
we did, but we didn't share.
we
We
didn't.
were not
And
that
but I
excited.
was just like, I no, I shared everything with my dad, even though I would get in trouble, but I still would share, like tell him everything and still get, and it was just like, girl, stop telling him stuff because you gonna get in trouble for it. But everything that's going on, so and so pregnant, this person wanted me to smoke, I smoked a cigarette, like anything. He'd be like, no, no, I'm not your friend.
He said no.
Like,
No, no,
I'm
no,
not
no, no,
your
no.
friend. But it's I think that, yeah, creating those safe spaces, it matters a lot, just because I feel like they internalize things. They're very deep. They have access to more than what we have,
They
and
do.
I think the way that some of us operates as parents creates this space for them where it's okay to increase the knowledge and okay to question your authority. And it's like, I love it when they be like, no, even when I was a school teacher for those 2 years, and they'd be like, nah, that's not right. And I'd be like, why not? And they would be like, oh, you want to let me explain why? I was like,
Mm-hmm.
because I was a science teacher. So, like, and at that age, it's like, this is the rules. These are the formulas. You got to go this way. And they'd be like, let me push back on that. And it's having that exchange. And I think it creates different adults. And even now, they found me online and they'll hit me up in my DMs. Like, and I'm like, y'all got kids now. And I'm still 25. And they're like,
Exactly. How is that possible?
like, when did
How
this
did
happen?
you age and I didn't?
I know. I don't understand. What's going on with you and these children? Why are you asking me about life advice? But yeah, I think I appreciate that so much. It's just nice to see people in public spaces with the ability to touch more than just what's around you, calling that out and understanding, because it's often where you get into these roles and you ascend and you forget that you were once in that space, and I feel like I operate from what would I have wanted someone to do for me, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I try to do too.
And that I think that's the best space that we can be in, even as the new adults. As I said, I'm the new adult, right? Like I'm the person, I'm the auntie or what, I don't even know where I am on that, because I think auntie starts at 32 now. So I was like, how is it that I'm
We
in that
grandmas,
space?
then we the
That's
grandmas.
why I was like, I guess I'm the Gma. I'll be the Mima. I mean,
We the grandmas.
um, but it is important in all spaces to that we not only just as Black women or as teenagers or as the LGBTQTI community feel like we are welcome in the
Mm-hmm.
world.
Mm-hmm.
It's important
Mm.
because that's where representation is not just about the one, it's about the mix. Having the varied people who somebody can connect with, who can be the trusted adult for something that they understand, it's
Mm-hmm.
important. Those anchor spaces are important, whether they are in the schools, in a classroom, with a connection with a teacher, whether they're in DPR,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? At the rec center,
You're right.
whether, you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
museum. when you're visiting, because in DC, that's what I was like, we have so many spaces that can be a little bit more than what they are
It's
for
100%.
the teens if we just lean in. We need to start planning teen takeovers for them. They don't need to be called teen takeovers, but teen something where they
Right.
can come to a space and they
Hmm.
learn how to
Do
interact.
whatever. Learn
Because
how
you
to.
know what the thing we don't really talk about enough is how the impact that those 3 years of COVID, the deep 3 years of COVID, had
Mm,
on their social skills or lack thereof.
yeah, because those COVID children are entering into the workforce and they are different.
They are completely changed.
Right, that some of them didn't graduate from from school. They started in ninth grade, didn't graduate 12th grade because it was COVID.
Right.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
started middle school or started elementary school, then went into middle school not getting some skills because it was
COVID.
COVID. Like,
Hmm.
so, or some people, kindergarten, they didn't do kindergarten, they started in second or third grade in person school because COVID.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's like we just kind of like that's in the past, but those things impact
Yeah.
everyone's experience. If we as adults were impacted by that, why do we not understand or recognize some of the lack of socialization that is out there with the youth?
Mm.
Like, we have to lean in. I listen, I wish I had the time to do all of the things and have the ideas that I have, but we definitely need to lean more into like, what are the spaces that we're creating so that they can come? What are the mentorship opportunities that we're creating? What are the job spaces that we're creating? A lot of these youth are so creative. We have a fab lab at the MLK library on 9th and G. There is a fab lab. That studio lab is what they call it in the lower level, where you can create
Mm.
3D printing. You want to design. So
Wow.
there are spaces like that we need to do better at promoting, making connections for people. A podcast studio.
Yeah, I heard that.
Hmm. We could take a trip.
We're gonna take
Hmm.
a trip
Take a visit.
live from
Also,
MLK Library.
exactly. And there's a dance studio as well where people go and
Wow.
practice. Yes. So
Wow.
there are spaces still, and guess what?
It's
All
free.
for free. And in some of our neighborhood libraries, they are we're looking at like different maker spaces and spaces to,
Mhm.
allow people to be creative.
Hmm.
So, like, how do we make and again, DPR. I like DPR is a great partner.
Yeah. And
They
they're
have
doing a lot.
swimming pools. Yeah, Rosedale, I just believe if they haven't, they will be opening their new swimming pool at the
Mm.
Rosedale Recreation.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, right? Like, where
Mm.
Deanwood has the same thing, the football fields and the swimming.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we, instead of trying to keep them out, how do we engage them and pull them in?
Yeah. It's so
Most definitely.
interesting you brought that up. Some of the services. While we were talking, I went online on the other screen just to look at all the things that are free resources at the library. I mean, it's vast and small things of starting a business. You can start a business at a library.
You can.
I mean, you,
Yeah.
you can go get your passport from the library.
Get a
Um,
notary. There's a notary
notary,
there.
get
Tax services.
tax services. You can get tutoring done if you want to go
And
for your.
there's even attorney services that I was talking to a man who he just looked at me and I said, "Hey, you look like you need something." He said, "I didn't want to bother anybody." I said, "It's not a bother." What he said, I'm going through this situation and I just need help. And I said, "I'm going to tell you, I can't personally help you, but we do offer law services." He said, "What?" Went, pulled up, handed him. He's like, "Are you serious?" Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I feel like we're oversaturated with information that you got to know when to pull it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, passport. If on social media, um, I actually did a social media post about passports.
Hmm.
You can find that if you.
We'll look.
Go look and
I'm just,
repost it.
I'm
I was
just
gonna say, I mean, and I know that it's nice because my daughter recently just went to Costa Rica, and we've always had a passport, but as a youth it expires, you have to get a new one. So I
every
went
5 years.
to the library. I went to the library. I was able to print off the papers there. The person I needed to notarize was right there, and I was ready to pay. She was like, "Girl, this is free." I was like,
See.
"What?"
Yeah, because you get 20 sheets free a day. You can print
A day.
20 a day.
You
20.
can print books. You can print
Crazy.
your manuscript
20
right there.
pages, front and back.
Yeah, it's like it's phenomenal. All of the services, and even like
Notary, you don't have to pay that $2 or $3.
mm-mm, sitting right there in the room waiting. I was like, "What are you notary?
Wow.
Do you gotta take your checkbook though? Get your passport
Well,
down."
the passport, yeah,
But
that's not free.
but yes,
That's
everything
not
else
that.
is.
Yes, that's not
But
free.
but even being able to just go there, take your pictures, do all of that, one stop shop. And
Mhm.
even then, while you're waiting on your name to be called, go look in the circulation and check out a book.
There
Oh, I
you
mean,
go.
look around.
Absolutely.
It's
Or
so
some tools. We have an upcoming DIY project because we have tools available at the
they got tools
library.
at the library.
Yes, a tool library. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Bob the Builder. Great.
And also you can borrow like tents. You know how people, you girl, go ahead
For
and
the
look on the list
cookout.
on
For the cookout.
Wow.
for the cookout. Karaoke under the loggia.
Wow.
Mahjong. Mahjong is a big program.
You know, I was just talking about that because I'm older now. I was like, I gotta get into this mahjong and this game of dominoes that the old Asian ladies be playing. It looks interesting.
So on Mondays, at the MLK library, there is the expert. That's the expert. But on Tuesdays, there is opportunities to learn how to
Ooh.
play mahjong. They have people so it's American, it's Hong Kong, and it's Japanese. Those are the three. And they have sets, they have mats that people can borrow. I recommend coming in. So it starts at 6, but I recommend coming in between 5:15 and 5:30 because it fills up pretty fast.
Wow.
I told you everybody trying to play it because all
And the
the
thing is that
crazy rich Asians.
you can learn, then people are there kind of scouting. Do you want to play? Do you need a partner? I said I'm going to come by a couple of days, and actually, I'm being trained to volunteer by one of the staff members who do it, just as a support, and it's the thing that I can do so I can keep my connection to the public. Like I love the community interaction. Again, you see how I just talked about the young man who I was like, like, oh, you talking to me? I love it. Okay, let's do this. So.
that
That's
I,
awesome.
that's I think it's so wonderful that I'm just grateful that you have just this black woman in this field that recognizes that when you
Mhm.
go up, you know, um, and even with you standing in this space now, if you look back, what I mean, you got here because of, like you said, you have the sheer audacity to just prove people wrong and be like, okay, challenge accepted, challenge accepted. When you think about it and people are interested in this field, I think I said in the early podcast episode, one of my dream jobs a long time ago was to be a librarian. I was going to get my master's of library science so I could sit in the back and just talk to people about books all day. Like, what you. So,
Mhm.
so just thinking about that as you were going through all of this, what's a piece of advice that you know now that you wish someone would have shared with you, that you would share with somebody that's interested in even going down this path?
You know what's interesting is I think what happens is that people tend to limit their role
Hmm.
or their space that they can take up or their position or what we represent and what we mean to people.
Mm.
So a piece of advice I would say is yes, be humble, have humility, but recognize what we bring to this work. especially as people of color, we're underrepresented in most spaces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we don't celebrate ourselves enough or celebrate what we know and what we can bring to the table. We often play the background.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say step forward, nudge forward, push forward,
Hmm.
be bold, be proud, and pull up people. So don't just step into the space, but pull people up as you come. No one told me that, right? Like it's just the thing that I did. So I create space for others. When I come into a space, I look to see who I can bring with me. It's not just about me being celebrated. It's not just about me stepping in. It's about the community, the village that can be built.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. We lost your video, so I don't know if you want to reset your camera.
Oh, so I don't. Hold on a second.
Uh-huh. Y'all better pick up these nuggets.
Am I? Am I back?
No, not yet.
Oh, I can see me on here. So give me a second.
And we are back again. Little technical difficulties. Shout out to Sound StreamYard for its ability to pivot.
Look, pivot is a part of this world, though. Too.
Exactly.
This
Exactly.
I'll tell you, pivoting is how I also been able to maneuver in this career. If I wasn't able to pivot, I may not have gotten as far as I gotten in the library world
Hmm.
because it can stall you.
Yeah.